Believe it or not, yard signs have been our number one customer acquisition tool. So anytime we, go out to a house for the very first time, when we're done, put a 18 by 24 yard sign right in the yard. And then at the beginning of every season of mosquito control season, which happens to be for us this coming Monday, the first cycle, everybody gets a yard sign. So what has happened now over the years, we're really concentrated with our routes and all that stuff. And so what happens is like this time of year, you'll see my yard signs go from like none out there to like thousands of them at one time. Right. So then people are driving down the road and like one after another. There's another one. There's another one in their yards. So it's been a really unique way of doing it. And then, we're really local. One of the things that we, I guess, pride ourselves on is like, I use the thing, we're not only, in the community, but we're for the community. So we do an annual backpack drive every year where we serve, we get donations through other businesses, donations, monetarily, and also they'll bring in like backpacks full of supplies. We go shopping at Walmart and get all these supplies. And then what we do is in August every year, we basically open our doors at our warehouse and we have tables lined up where the kids can come grab their backpack from the station one, and then they can they got their school supply list. We usually reach out to all the schools, get them in advance. So if they don't have it, we have their school on hand. And then they go and they shop for free and they get to fill their backpack up with school supplies.
This episode is brought to you by 10X Nerds. If you're a business owner doing real revenue, there's a good chance you're overpaying in areas you haven't even looked at. Things like credit card processing, insurance, telecom, and more. 10X Nerds comes in, audits your expenses across 30 plus categories, and finds immediate savings. And here's the kicker. They only get paid if they save you money. It's a complete no-brainer. If you want to keep more of what you make, go check them out at 10xnerds.com. This episode is brought to you by Rakowski Law Firm. If you're a business owner or have built a level of wealth, but you don't have your estate plan dialed in, you're exposed. Rakowski Law Firm helps families and business owners protect their assets, avoid probate, and make sure everything transfers exactly how it should. This isn't just paperwork, it's a real strategy to protect your legacy. If you haven't looked at your plan in a while or don't have one, go to rakowskilawfirm.com. This episode is brought to you by my friend Silas Lagoy over at ForgeMark Wealth. If you're a high-income business owner or professional and feel like you're getting crushed by taxes, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. ForgeMark Wealth specializes in advanced legal tax strategies and wealth planning designed to help you keep more of what you make, grow it efficiently, and actually build long-term freedom, not just income. If you're making serious money but don't have a real strategy behind it yet, I highly recommend connecting with Silas and his team. What's up, everybody? This episode is sponsored by ExitWise. If you're a business owner thinking about selling your company, whether that's now or years down the road, you need to know what your business is actually worth and how to maximize that exit. That's exactly what ExitWise does. They help you prepare, position, and ultimately sell your business by assembling a world-class team of M&A experts around you, guiding you from valuation all the way through closing. If you want to know what your business is really worth and how to increase that number before you sell, go check out exitwise.com and get ahead of it.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Builder's Bible podcast. Today, we're going to be covering a lot of key topics, the challenges, the pain points, growth, expansion, and many more. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoy it.
But yeah, let's get started. So appreciate your time. Thanks for hopping involved, man.
Awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
absolutely. So yeah, give me a little bit of background, what you're doing these days, how'd you get into it, all the above.
Yeah. So I'm Matt here with Mosquito and Pest Authority. We're located out of Delaware. We pretty much service the whole entire state. Been in the game more so on the mosquito side, got into a niche market. So we're a franchise, start off as a franchise for just mosquitoes. And I got into that about in 2013. So we've been doing it about 13 years. Over that time, we've evolved. We went from mosquitoes to then getting into ticks. And so it was mosquito, tick, and fly. And that was pretty much the extent of it. And then we eventually branched off and now we're into the pest side of things. So we're called Mosquito and Pest Authority. So over the last 4 years, we've been really focusing in on the pest control. Mosquito niche is kind of fallen off a little bit. We kind of rode that wave because most PCOs were not doing mosquito control at the time. And what I mean by that is pest control operators. So what I mean by PCO. But most people or a pest control owner. It could be that way too. But most people didn't focus on it for a long time. And then, over the past 5 or so years, 4 or 5 years, most everybody's now doing some sort of pest control as an add-on, or mosquito control as an add-on. And so where we were the, kind of that's our sole focus at the time. So we were able to kind of sell against most, pest control companies, because we say, look, all we do is mosquitoes. That's all we know. But then it became to where everybody started doing it. And it's just pretty much, they call it every Chuck in a truck was going around doing mosquito control. So now we're full-blown pest control. We're just a pest control company now. We do it from basically termites to rodents to bed bugs, general pests, you name it. So been doing that for a few years now.
This episode is brought to you by Blue Collar Business Advisors. If you're running an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, or landscaping, or any other type of home service business and wondering where all the money is going despite growing your revenue, you need to talk to Paul Maskill. Paul has scaled and sold multiple blue-collar businesses and now helps business owners improve cash flow, profitability, and financial clarity through outsourced CFO services. His clients gain a better understanding of their numbers, build predictable profits, and create a business that supports the life they actually want. One of the things I appreciate most about Paul is he's not just a finance guy. He's been in the trenches as an owner. He understands the challenges of running blue-collar businesses because he's done it himself. If you're doing a few $1 million a year in revenue and want to stop guessing at your numbers and start building real wealth, head over to bluecollaradvisors.com. That's thebluecollaradvisors.com and schedule a discovery call with Paul and his team. Blue Collar Business Advisors, helping blue-collar business owners build financially healthy companies and achieve permanent profitability. This episode is brought to you by Corberry Digital. If you own an HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, or home service business and you're tired of wondering where your next lead is coming from, you need to check out Corberry Digital. Corberry specializes exclusively in helping home service companies dominate their local markets through SEO, Google Ads, local service ads, websites, content marketing, and lead generation systems that actually produce a measurable ROI. Their team doesn't just focus on clicks and impressions. They help contractors lower customer acquisition costs, increase qualified leads, and build a marketing engine that scales. What I like about Corberry is they understand the blue collar space. They aren't trying to be everything to everyone. Their entire focus is helping trades businesses win in their backyard and generate more profitable jobs. If you're looking to grow your business, improve your online visibility, and build a marketing system that works, visit Corberry.com and schedule a strategy session with their team. That's Corberry.com. Tell them you heard about them on the podcast. This episode is brought to you by Jonathan Keim and the teams at 360 Commercial Roofing and Top Roof Marketing. If you own or manage commercial property or you're a roofing contractor looking to grow, Jonathan has spent more than a decade helping businesses protect their buildings and scale through proven commercial roofing and marketing systems. His companies specialize in commercial roofing solutions, roof asset management, and marketing built specifically for the roofing industry. Whether you need a trusted commercial roofing partner or want to generate more qualified roofing leads, check out 360 Commercial Roofing or Top Roof Marketing. You can go to www.360, like 360, commercialroofing.com, and Top Roof Marketing, www.toproofmarketing.com. Now let's get into today's episode.
So you guys started off in mosquitoes. And really, so I understand that nobody else was doing that at the time.
Yeah, we started off mosquitoes.
So I understand that nobody else was doing that at the time, doing mosquitoes?
Yeah, basically from like 2013 to 2020 or so, most pest control companies weren't doing that as they would. Some did. They had it as an add-on, but that was like the only thing we solely focused on. We solely focused against, on the marketing on mosquito and fly control and a little bit of tick. And then as 2020 hit, right around COVID, I saw that like a lot of my pest control guys and friends that were doing full-blown pest control were really killing the market, because you got to think, during COVID, everybody was home. So, they're sitting at home, they see like a spider up in the corner, or they notice ants that they may have never noticed before, and I was talking to one buddy, he was up like 400%, things like that. And I was like, man, I need a piece of that pie. So then I ended up joining in on the, we basically took another division. So
400%, that's cool. Those are large numbers and whatever.
Yeah. Yep. So we've been doing that for
how's business been? You guys staying pretty busy?
5 years now
overall.
We are. Yeah, the business has been great. We're constantly growing. Last year I
Mhm.
won franchise of the year for our franchise system for the pest side. We're really kind of, it's really fortunate because we grew that customer base in the mosquito control side of things to where, we had a ton of customers that we could have marketed to. Now, we bundle with them. We say, okay, now let's, even though you have mosquito control now, we also offer, pest control. And now let's bundle that into a package and, then we can add termite and all of that. So we've done a really good job at upselling our customers. So they have a one-stop shop when it comes to, because back then there was a lot of people that had, hey, they had a
Right.
pest control guy at their house,
Right.
but then they had the mosquito guy, coming up at the same time. So we were both both coming to the house. So now we package it together and, it's now they don't have to worry about two different
Gotcha.
companies.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
all
Because
one
I
company
have
that
a
comes
pest
with the
control that
below
comes to my
this.
house once a quarter, have them spray down. And I'm just kind of assuming, I mean, this is my mindset for someone who doesn't really know the business, but it's a one-stop shop. You guys spray for basically all bugs, you know, that type of stuff. So yeah, I never really thought about having just a mosquito guy and just a, termite guy and a pest control guy, so I get it. I get it. It makes a lot more sense now after just listening to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Gotcha.
kind of something.
Yeah. So I
Yeah,
guess you guys are
absolutely.
doing, that type of plan too. You guys
Yeah.
kind of have the annual plans with your clients. You guys doing door to door knocking as well too to try and get new clients. You guys doing commercials or commercial spaces as well too. Kind of all the above, or what does that look like?
Yeah. So I'm kind of
Okay.
unique. I'm actually anti door knocking. I know it's a way to grow, and we've all experienced the pest control company coming to our door and knocking. A lot of times, these door knocking
Yeah.
crews don't even work for the company they're selling for, and so I'm unique in that I've tried it. I have done it to a small degree, and I got in just enough to say, yeah, this is exactly why I didn't want to do it, and then I bailed out of it. What we've done really to kind of grow our customer base, two things. We've changed our model. Now we're a subscription model, right? We do monthly billing, which is fantastic for the customer from a budgeting standpoint. Instead of, us just charging them every 3 weeks when we come out 9 times a year. Now what we've done is we bundled their pests together, put it all together, and we say, okay, you are covered for mosquitoes all year long. You're covered for general pests. Pay us every 30 days, for 12 months out of the year. Anytime that you have a need, in the wintertime or whatever it may be, and rodents show up, we can always come out and address those. But so by doing that, obviously it's been great for the business. But from a marketing standpoint, we do a lot with yard signs. Believe it or not, yard signs
Hmm.
have been our number one customer acquisition tool. So anytime we, go out to a house for the very first time, when we're done, put a 18 by 24 yard sign right in the yard. And then at the beginning of every season of mosquito control season, which happens to be for us this coming Monday, uh, the first cycle, everybody gets a yard sign. So what has happened now over the years, we're really concentrated with our routes and all that stuff. And so what happens is like this time of year, you'll see my yard signs go from like
Huh.
none out there to like thousands of them at one time, right? So then people are driving down the road and like one after
Right.
another. There's another one in their yards. So it's been a really unique way of doing it. And then, we're really local. One of the things that we uh, I guess pride ourselves on is like I use the thing we're not only
Hmm.
in the community, but we're for the community. So we do an annual backpack drive every year where we serve. We get donations through other businesses, donations monetarily, and also they'll bring in like backpacks full of supplies. We go shopping at Walmart and get all these supplies, and then what we do is in August every year, we basically open our doors at our warehouse and we have tables lined up where the kids can come grab their backpack from
Hmm.
the station one, and then they got their school supply list. We usually reach out to all the schools, get them in advance. So if they don't have it, we have their school on hand. And then they go and they shop for free and they get to fill their backpack up with school supplies. So stuff like that is kind of our differentiator, against most people, and I think that has served us really well. Now, the intention is obviously to be there for the kids and do it, out of our heart. But what has a lot of businesses come from it because people see that we're really serving the community. We're doing a lot of things, going out and helping wherever we can. So they see that stuff on our heart. So then they give us the business when things come up, and it's been a really cool experience. So between the yard signs and just being involved in the community in any way, shape, or form that we can be involved,
Sure,
I think that's
absolutely.
been a
Yeah,
main
I'm all
contributor
for
to the
giving
growth that
back.
we've had.
I love to see it when businesses are, giving back to the community as well too. It's not, I mean, just from business sense, it's a great way to s- show who you are, showcase, to spread the word. But at the same time too, you're also helping, the less fortunate and, all that type of stuff. So yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. As far as the yard signs go, so do you guys buy a new batch of yard signs every year and then ship them out to all your customers as well too? Or
Yeah, no doubt.
what does that look like? Do you just recycle them, or I'm curious about that because and you do see a lot of companies here.
Yeah, we
Okay, go
don't
on.
necessarily like give up like. Yeah, I think we have a little bit of lag here. So yeah, so the yard signs we do a big batch order at the beginning of the year. We bring in, a few thousand yard signs. And then what we do is right at the beginning of the season, right around now, again on Monday we start.
Gotcha.
Every time the very first treatment, everybody gets one. They're usually there for a month or so. A lot of customers just want us to leave them there, and we do all year long. Early on in the business, I would go into a neighborhood that I wanted to get into. What we do is we order, several thousand at a time at the beginning of the year, and we treat them as like a throwaway, right? If we get them back, great. If not, it's just a cost of business that we know that you know we're going to lose. So what we do is we don't necessarily just go out and put them on street corners and things like that. But every customer gets a yard sign, and a lot of people want to keep them there throughout the year, right? Like it's like, hey, just leave the yard sign. We love your company. We want to advertise whatever way we can. So we have those. But as I was saying, it's like earlier that, early on, how that all kind of came about was I would go into these like really nice neighborhoods and say, man, this is like the ideal customer. This is exactly where I want to be. They meet my persona of my target client. And, they would say they're on a 4-way, stop or whatever. I would go to them and I would trade them a full year of free mosquito control if they allowed me to keep my yard sign on that street corner for a year, for the season. And
Yeah.
got a lot of people let me do that, in these nice neighborhoods. And then what happened was, just more and more people would sign up. And I don't necessarily have to do it as much as I used to. But maybe it's something I need to get back to and continue to do because it works. It really, really works. So
Yeah. Yeah. No kidding. That's a great way of acquiring customers.
yeah.
Very,
Yeah.
you know, cheap way to do it. Low barrier to entry and just back. Hey, who doesn't want a free service? Yeah, I'd love for my my termite guys or my pest control guys to offer me, something like that. I'm like, yeah, you can keep your sign on my lawn. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah. A little
around it.
barter system, and
Yeah.
even being in like grocery stores early on, I'd be like, hey, here, try this out. Free treatment. I would give them free treatment after free treatment.
Yeah.
Just giving them away because I knew that it worked. I knew that it was like a light switch in their backyard, and I let me just get in there into their property to show them. And
Right.
usually once I got them to, agree to a free treatment, I was able to convert them into a paying customer just because of how, the product spoke for itself. It worked.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So how big are you guys?
So yeah, we actually, you talking about total employees?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have about 15 people on staff right now.
Okay.
So yeah, we've actually downsized a little bit. I've actually restructured the company, to accommodate for that. So, normally, a year or two ago, we would have close to 20 people. But what we have found was that, we were able to, over the time, as we were putting on more and more customers, they were very concentrated in areas. And then I noticed that I wasn't expecting as much as I should be out of each, technician that was out there.
Mhm.
They were, they would be back at the office, by 2:30, 3 o'clock sometimes when they could be working till 5. And
Right.
so what we've noticed is like, okay, let's do a small crew or smaller crew and give them more work because these guys just want to work, and girls. I mean, we have, a lot of females
Yeah.
on our staff too. So
Mhm.
they just want to go. And so what we've done is we got them tight routes and, switch their pay up a little bit. Instead of paying them hourly, we now pay them based on production. So when they go to that house, they know it's whatever the value of that service is, they get a percentage of it. So yeah, that's what's worked out really well. So
Gotcha. Huh.
yeah.
Interesting. Okay. And I assume you guys have, you provide wrap trucks for them all, and all the chemicals that they need, things of that nature.
Yeah. Yep. So we have everything. They get their own dedicated truck. When they come on board, they get, we provide them all their uniforms, all the, technology that they need, all the products, all the, equipment that they need. I could literally take somebody right now, hire them off the street with zero bug experience, and I could have them up and running for the most part on most pest control. Probably 80 to 90% of it within 30 days. They could be a pretty good technician.
Wow.
60 to 90 days, they could be doing termite work. They could be doing bed bugs, those kind of things. So
Yeah, good for you guys. Good for you guys. What's been some of the challenges you guys have been facing over the years?
yeah, so I guess it's the growth, right? So growth isn't always easy. Even though it's like, great, yeah, we're growing. It's understanding, do you have the right people in the right positions? Do you have, they always say like putting somebody in the right seat in the bus, right? Wherever they're sitting, they need to love what they do and enjoy what they do. We've had some growing pains where, the times we were growing so fast, we were hiring out of necessity, rather than being preemptive and saying, are we getting the right person?
Right.
And a lot of times I was hiring off of a piece of paper, which would, the resume, I'm looking at the resume and I would just throw people out the window that never had any outdoor, working outdoor experience. If they worked in a warehouse or they worked, in an office or something like that, I would never even give them the time of day to even interview because it's like, that's not going to work out.
Right.
And then it got to a point where I started hiring the person and the heart versus, a piece of paper. And so, my interviews at the time, when I started making this transition were a lot different than earlier on. I was going on based on experience. If you cut lawns all summer long, you'd be a great person because you worked outdoors. Now, I've had several people that left a cubicle job and they're my best employees because they love the freedoms of being outdoors and they've always wanted to be, in a trade something or, a trade somewhere. So yeah, that's been a challenge, just growing so fast that we were hiring people that we probably shouldn't have hired.
Right.
Out of just pure necessity. Like we pay,
Yeah.
we'll make it work. We'll Band-Aid fix this. And that was the wrong way to go about it.
Right.
So.
A lot of times it is nice to hire someone who's green just because you can train them the way you want and you teach them their processes and the way you work, things of that nature. And so yeah, I think there's a lot of value to hiring someone who really doesn't have little to no experience in, doing what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah. No doubt about it. I agree with that, and we've always struggled with the fact of like, hey, is there there's other pest control companies around, guys coming to all the time, and we always struggled to hire the guy that was coming from the other pest control company because they would come in and say, well, we did it over here this way. Why are you doing it that way? Or they had a better mousetrap, and most of those people didn't work out for us because of the experience. But, I've hired kids that were 19 years old, and very green and now they're still with me 5 years later and they've grown into amazing technicians,
Yeah. That's great. And also it sounds like they're a great fit for the company too. Like
absolutely.
Personality wise, they get along with everybody,
Culture, man. Culture is huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's I talk to a lot of businesses and so it's building that base, that foundation, and then once you get that down, then you can start branching off like, hey, let's go over here. If this doesn't work, okay, come back here and let's just go try this way,
Absolutely. Yeah. This is our first year in company history where we didn't have anybody, we didn't have to hire a single person coming into the next season. Wow. Because they all came back. We treat our guys and girls very, very well. We treat them as family. I mean, we're together, a lot. I know that they're on their own and all that. Sorry, my dog keeps walking by.
Oh, you're good.
You hear all the clicking. Hey, Yolita. On the hardwood floor, her nails. But yeah, so, it's just, the culture is where it's at. When we really started focusing on the culture, getting the right people, so much changed for us and people buying into, the vision that I have, when they start seeing, and mimicking exactly how I would do it or how I want to do it, and they keep each other accountable. Our word of the year this year is efficiency. Last year was level up. And, all year long, that's what we'd read. Hey, level up. You got to be more professional. Why do you have a stain? You come into work and you've been, look like you've been laying on grease all night, we just didn't do that. We got rid of all that. We came in with clean uniforms, leveling up our professionalism, all of that. And then as we transitioned out of last year into this year, our big word is efficiency. So now it's like, okay, is that moving the needle of the business? Are we doing this just to do it? Or are we doing this because it's going to, provide more revenue, or it's going to provide, more opportunity, or there's always got to be a reason behind it now. So
Sure. Absolutely. How are you guys looking for the rest of 2026? We just finished with Q1. You just mentioned, being, more efficient, coming with uniform, and what is the rest of the outlook? What does the rest of the year look like for you guys?
man, I tell you, we've set some very lofty goals for ourselves, and as of Q1, we have already hit them and surpassed them, which is fantastic. So the rest of this outlook on 2026 looks amazing. We had a very wet winter up here. It looks like we're going to have a very mild spring, which is fantastic for bugs to start moving. Like last week, I was telling you, we had 70-degree weather. And then, we did get a little chilly, but last week the phones just blew up. And I'm like, man, once we hit that 70, 80, and then, April showers start really kicking in, and, these bugs are going to be moving, and so everything looks fantastic for the year. Our team looks phenomenal. I am super excited. I think we're going to blow 2026. We had a fantastic 2025, but I think 2026 is going to be even better. So.
All right. You guys looking at adding employees or anything?
We just hired a service manager, which is something we have never done. This is our first year with a service manager. We had an operations manager at the time, or we called her operations coordinator at the time. She was very good for our company. She unfortunately had to she took another job with her family business. So it's like, it was a mutual, we respect it and love her and miss her and all that cool stuff. But what it really did is right-sided us. So while it stunk to get rid of her or lose her, it really kind of opened our eyes up, because what we really needed before her was a service manager. And so it allowed us to go and find that service manager and do it the way that you should do it, right? And so I hired a guy last year as a technician, and he came in like a bull in a china shop in a positive way. He was doing every certification. He was showing up, early. He was staying late. He was wanting to learn more and more and more. And I could just see it. And how it came about, I was in the gym. I knew him from the gym, friendly with him at the gym, right? Didn't know him. And he had just walked over. He knew what I did. And he said, hey, I'm in a bind. I just got laid off from work. I got a family, and I was wondering if you have anything that can just kind of hold me over until I can, get back up on my feet. Cause I really want to be in the medical career field. I want to do something medical, and I'm about to finish up my master's and this, that, and the other. So I brought him on, and he, I just like, honestly, I was literally hiring at that time. I needed 2 people, and I'd already had one, and we were going to start our training class the very next day. I said, if you can be there tomorrow, we'll bring you on. And, basically streamlined him through, and he was with us 4 or 5 months, and he came to me, he's like, man, I just got a job offer at the hospital. I'm going to have to leave at the end of the month. And I was like, oh my gosh. I was talking to my coach at the time, and he was like, do not let this guy leave. Don't let him leave. Whatever you have to do to keep him. And I said, well, what do I do? I was like, he's just a technician. He's like, he's your service manager. You're losing Molly. That's your service manager. He kind of opened my eyes to it. So I went to Tyler, and I was like, hey, what's it going to take? What's it going to take to keep you around here? And we sat and had a couple meetings on it, and, threw some numbers around, and we made it work. And he decided, because he loved doing this. He's like, I love this way more than I thought I would. He's like, I really feel like you gave me an opportunity, and he stuck with us. And so now he's very quickly, within a year of me hiring him, he's now my service manager. And all off season, he educated, he went out on calls, anything and everything he could possibly do to gain knowledge, to make up ground on the guys that have been here for 4 or 5 years. He did it and surpassed them. So fantastic hire.
Yeah, he sounds absolutely. It sounds like a good cultural fit with the company too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No doubt about
it. Switching gears a little bit, as far as, your trucks and, things of that nature, and expanding warehouses, how are you guys purchasing your capital?
How we approach our capital? Is that what
purchasing? Sorry.
Yeah, our purchasing. Yeah. We're fortunate, because we are in a franchise system, that we do have buying power with a lot of the manufacturers when it comes to buying our chemicals and products and things like that. While it's not perfect, it is better than you can go and buy it off of, the internet or a local, supply store. So, our growth, and I was always told this from my father-in-law, which, and it's very true. And he's been in business, for a long, long time. He actually, I actually worked for him when I got out of the military for 13 years, believe it or not. And so he always told me, he said, growth gobbles up cash.
Mhm.
When you're growing, it requires a lot of money, and you don't see it until you're actually in it.
Right.
And I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like, if you're putting on all these customers, like, I just, at that time, I'm very naive and ignorant to the idea of that, and being kind of green in business in a sense didn't really make sense to me. While we had steady incline from, doing Mosquito all those years, and we rode that very well, we rode that train. Once we hit our full-blown pest control company, like when we went pest and everything kind of exploded at the seams, I saw it and I was like, whoa, this is crazy. So what we had to do is kind of take a step back, because I was positioned, and my coach was helping me through this, is I was positioned to be about 2 times the size of what I was. And he was like, man, you were way overstaffed. You're way more, you're keeping way more on inventory than you need to. You got, at that time, he's like, you have Molly in this, operations role. You needed a service manager. All that was kind of coming to a head. All the while, vehicles needed to be updated, because these, the original trucks I bought were, 4 years old when I bought it, when I got into the business. So that was a 2009, 2008 truck. And now here we are in 2025, and we're running around the same trucks. And now some of them are dying, and, they need new wraps. They need all this stuff. So it's like, whoa, and having to buy more vehicles because we're expanding. So, that stuff is very scary in business, because it can really hurt you if you're not paying attention to it. Right. And so we took it on the chin. We took it on the chin a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot of, extra money this business has been a blessing to me. Don't get me wrong. I make good money doing this, but it's to the point where it's like, wait a minute. Like, all my, I was just buying stuff because I just needed it. Yeah. I thought I needed it. And I did it off emotion and not factual information. And so when I really looked at the numbers, I was like, oh, okay, so this now makes sense. So we were able to ship it and everything. And, we now have got to a point where I could take on, another $1 million worth of business and not have to change much, other than just hire a couple, maybe 2-3 guys at most, and a little bit more product, and we're good. So infrastructure is there, but I don't have necessarily the staff where I had it before. So I just have to continue to hire to get through that.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Absolutely.
But office wise, I got my office, my warehouse, where my building's at right now. Everything is fantastically located. We are literally just sitting here waiting. We're like, okay, cool. Like, if it comes, it comes, because we're now ready for it. Last time I wasn't ready for it. Now I'm ready for the next step.
Right. Yep. It's all about, it's managing your money. It's a tool, so you got to manage it. So just like, it sounds like you learned a lot of lessons, back when you're first starting off, but it sounds like you got everything, together at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. So much lessons to learn in business. It's insane.
Yeah. And every day's a new day too. So like, you think you know everything, but something comes up, you're like, oh, I've never come across this before, even though he's been doing this since 2009, so it's fun.
Right.
Yeah. Well, Matt, I really appreciate your time. Where can they find you?
So official Mosquito Matt, that's what I go by on Instagram, and bugsbite.com. So that's our website, bugsbite.com, and then official Mosquito Matt on Facebook and Instagram.
Oh, cool. Awesome. There you go. Matt, stick around. I'd love to have a couple questions for you at the end.
Sweet. Sounds great.
Cool. Well, Matt, I appreciate your time. Again, yeah, absolutely. Again, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it.
Hey, everyone. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Builders Bible Podcast. If you have any questions, or if you want to be on an episode, reach out anytime. Alex at kings-coaching.co. Talk to you guys soon.